The Hollywood actress Blake Lively has filed a legal complaint against her It Ends With Us co-star Justin Baldoni, alleging sexual harassment and a campaign to destroy her reputation.
Well, Lakshmi, these details have come out in paperwork filed to the California Civil Rights Department.
All right, so let's get right into it. This Hollywood drama surrounding the It Ends With Us movie has everyone talking. Blake Lively has filed a legal complaint, and it's not just tabloid fodder. These accusations surfaced, and they're serious. What really caught my attention is how her team went a step further by filing with the California Civil Rights Department, which is a big deal. It means she's not messing around. It's a precursor to a potential lawsuit.
Now, to understand how we got to this point, Lakshmi, we do need to first rewind a little bit. Lively and Baldoni were stars of the Netflix film It Ends With Us, which came out in the summer. Now, the film did very well with viewers, but this paperwork filed in California has made us aware of some big disagreements on the set. Now,
she clearly believes she has a solid case, especially since she's already subpoenaed communications. That means there's likely a trove of texts and emails that could reveal the behind-the-scenes story of what really went down.
It states that on the 4th of January, a meeting was held to address a hostile work environment. Now, the meeting was attended by Baldoni, who was also the film's director and the co-chairman and co-founder of Wayfarer, who the production company for the film. Blake Lively also attended with her husband and the Hollywood actor Ryan Reynolds, who wasn't in the film, alongside other members of the film's production service. Now, Blake Lively's lawyers alleged that both Mr. Baldoni and the Wayfarer CEO, Jamie Heath, engaged in inappropriate and unwelcome behaviour towards her and towards others on the set,
including the possible lengths people took to manage their reputations. Lively alleges retaliation and a deliberate smear campaign orchestrated by her co-star and director, Justin Baldoni, along with his production company, Wayfarer Studios. Jamie Heath, the CEO of Wayfarer, is also mentioned, and there's a high-profile crisis management expert named Melissa Nathan involved, someone who's handled huge celebrity cases before. So right off the bat, it's clear the situation is being taken seriously at the highest levels. Before diving into the cover-up and PR maneuvering, it's essential to understand what Lively says was happening on set during production.
Now, the meeting included a list, Lakshmi, of 30 demands relating to the pair's alleged misconduct to be met to ensure that production of the film could continue. Now, among them, Blake Lively requested there's to be no more mention of Mr. Baldoni or Mr. Heath's previous addiction. There's to be no more descriptions of their own genitalia and no more adding of sex scenes outside of the script that Blake Lively had already approved when signing onto the project.
She outlines multiple instances of alleged boundary-crossing behavior by Baldoni. One of the most striking allegations involves an improvised kissing scene where he apparently bit her lip, blurring that line between acting and reality. Then, there are claims that he whispered suggestive comments in her ear while filming, which raises major questions about professional boundaries. Lively also states she was pressured to simulate full nudity in a birth scene, even though it wasn't in the script, something she found deeply uncomfortable. On top of that, there's a moment in her complaint about Jamie Heath allegedly showing her a video of a naked woman to help her feel more at ease about the nude birth scene. No matter the intention, it comes across as wildly inappropriate. Taken together, these instances paint a troubling picture of a work environment where boundaries might have been crossed repeatedly. Lively also describes episodes of Baldoni and Heath oversharing personal details, objectifying women, and even Baldoni having emotional outbursts in her trailer. According to Lively, when she tried to address these issues, the entire situation escalated into another level of drama. Instead of addressing her concerns head-on, Baldoni and Wayfarer allegedly went into damage control mode, desperate to avoid negative press. That's where Melissa Nathan, the crisis management expert, steps in. Lively's subpoenaed text messages supposedly reveal a behind-the-scenes plan to protect Baldoni's reputation and discredit Lively. These messages include talk of untraceable social media manipulation, planting negative stories, and even labeling Lively as a difficult or unreasonable bully. It's essentially a strategy to turn the public against her, a tactic known as astroturfing, creating fake grassroots campaigns to sway perception. What's more, the messages suggest that Baldoni and Nathan were fully aware of what they were doing. There's mention of burying Lively, and Nathan bragging about how well the campaign was working. According to Lively, this effort had real-world consequences, from canceled appearances to damage to her brands, Betty Buzz and Buddy Boo, not to mention the emotional toll of being portrayed negatively negatively in the media. It didn't stop with Lively. The campaign allegedly targeted her husband, Ryan Reynolds, too. There are suggestions Baldoni wanted to flip the narrative, painting Reynolds as an overbearing spouse who interfered with the film and was anti-feminist, hoping to shatter their powerful couple image. But Lively managed to secure the incriminating texts and emails, turning the tables on Baldoni and Wayfarer. Now they're in full defensive mode, and these revelations highlight the extremes some will go to in order to maintain control of the public narrative. This entire scandal raises questions about power dynamics in Hollywood and how often we, the public, might be swayed by carefully planted rumors. It also highlights the immense courage it takes to confront powerful figures who, according to Lively, may try to silence and smear anyone who speaks out. She's essentially challenging an established system with deep pockets and top-tier PR resources. If her claims hold up in court, there could be significant repercussions. California has robust laws that protect employees from SH and retaliation, so Wayfarer Studios could face serious liability if it's proven they failed to provide a safe environment. Baldoni, too, could face individual consequences. Even if they're ultimately cleared of wrongdoing, the negative press alone can leave lasting damage. From a career standpoint, reputations can be nearly impossible to rebuild after something like this. This situation also underscores the complexity of crisis management in Hollywood. The text messages paint a picture of professionals casually discussing strategies to discredit and silence someone. It's a sobering reminder that behind every big headline, there might be a team working tirelessly to spin, manipulate, or bury uncomfortable truths. And it shows that it's not just about one individual's actions. There can be a network of people and resources dedicated to protecting reputations, sometimes at another person's expense. All of this highlights the intense pressure Lively must have felt, juggling promotional duties for the film while dealing with these alleged issues on set. She claims she tried multiple times to resolve matters internally and even involved Reynolds in meetings. But when she filed her complaint with the California Civil Rights Department, everything reportedly took a darker turn, culminating in that alleged smear campaign. This drama may mark a pivotal moment for the Me Too movement, reminding us that it's not just about calling out abusive behavior, but also about exposing the systems, like crisis PR, that can protect powerful players while silencing victims. It prompts a bigger conversation about how often these tactics are used, and whether the public ever realizes they're seeing orchestrated content instead of genuine criticism. From the legal standpoint, we'll see if these accusations lead to a full-blown lawsuit or if a settlement is reached. The outcome could transform how studios handle on-set misconduct claims and how they respond when someone steps forward. Even more than that, it might set a precedent for addressing the use of smear tactics as retaliation against those who speak out. In the meantime, Baldoni's side staunchly denies any wrongdoing, calling Lively's accusations baseless.
Mr. Baldoni's legal team also accused Miss Lively of making numerous demands, threatening to not show up to set, threatening to not promote the film, which would end up ultimately leading to its demise during its release if her demands were not met.
It's turning into a showdown of credibility and evidence. Lively's team will have to prove that the alleged behavior was severe enough to create a hostile work environment and that any smear campaign directly targeted her in retaliation for speaking up. Regardless of the legal result, this situation has already ignited a massive conversation about respect, boundaries, and accountability in Hollywood. It also has people discussing the darker side of crisis management, the way social media can be manipulated, and the ethical responsibilities of PR professionals. It begs the question, how many similar situations happen behind closed doors, overshadowed by star power and big money? For Lively, her bravery in coming forward not only risks her career and public image, but also places her on a collision course with powerful industry figures. It's a classic David versus Goliath narrative, one that could have far-reaching consequences for everyone involved, whether she prevails or not. Her actions have already exposed a side of Hollywood many suspect exists, but rarely see laid out in such stark detail. Ultimately, this isn't just about the It Ends With Us film or the individuals named. It's about a system that can sometimes enable people to cross lines, then strategize ways to cover it all up. It spotlights the emotional and psychological cost on someone who tries to call it out. It prompts us all to question what we read and hear, remembering that some stories, positive or negative, might be carefully planted to shape our opinions. We're going to keep an eye on the next developments. The accusations are serious, and the stakes are high for both sides. If nothing else, this saga is a powerful reminder that what happens behind the scenes can be far more dramatic than what appears on the surface, and that it takes a lot of courage to speak out when you feel you've been wronged, especially against well-connected and influential figures. It remains to be seen how the legal chips chips will fall, but there's no doubt this case has already changed the conversation and pulled back the curtain on some of Hollywood's most carefully guarded practices.